Welcome back to the Stockwell Eldridge Show. I'm Jason Stockwell, Remax Results.
And Stephanie Havel, Wells Fargo Home Mortgage.
Co-hosting today.
Feels kind of cool sitting here. I don't know. I might have to give Don the hours.
The captain's chair.
I feel special. Thanks, buddy.
We are talking with Tom Soderberg, works with NGY, which is a supplier for cabinets and kitchens and granite. And we're on break. We're talking about this because back in the heyday, I call it the heyday, but it wasn't the heyday. It was the recession. But we were fortunate enough, or my team was fortunate enough to be working a lot with foreclosures, and we worked a lot with actually clients who bought foreclosures and renovated them. One of them, Bob Lux, he's been on the show before. He's in the newspaper now, in the Business Journal. I'm looking at it right now as a A-lister player for 2017, and Bob was buying foreclosures, helping communities by buying them, fixing up the homes, selling them to owner-occupants. And Tom and his company, Quick Kitchen, did probably all of theirs or most of theirs, I'd say, kitchens with the cabinets, granite, and everything like that. And Tom, you said you did how many kitchens over the...
Well, 20,000.
20,000.
Yeah.
Folks,
Wow.
20,000. So Tom knows what he's doing. So if you have a kitchen remodel question...
Oh, that's
or
what I
if
call
you-
busy. He was BOS lot busy.
Well, we just did 700 over at Concierge. It adds up when you're doing housing and when you're working with rehabbers.
Mm-hmm.
You
Yeah.
know?
Yeah. So that's a lot of kitchens. So he has experience in what to do. And the company NGY that you represent now, you're setting up shops for them around the
United States. Yes.
So how does it? So is that for
I was going to say, are you working for builders?
commercial only, or is it if someone says,
I work directly for NGY, and NGY is a manufacturer of stone and cabinets both.
Okay.
And they have about 1,200 people that work for them.
Okay.
And so they wanted somebody, in the United States that was going to sort of represent them. And I think they went to me. They thought, well, he's kind of a, regular guy, a total American, and we want to have that out there talking to people. They have warehouses in California, but they just wanted a more of an American presence.
Yep.
And so I'm setting up, people in Milwaukee, and I have somebody in Philadelphia right now. We're working with some people in Minneapolis. We already have people in Minneapolis that are doing it. So if somebody wants to have a kitchen put in, I do have people in Minneapolis that are capable of doing it right now.
So
Nice.
people would contact you then, Tom, versus, so you're not necessarily working for, ABC Builders, and that's the only way they can get your product
No.
and your services, so that
No.
we could contact you directly.
Correctly. Yeah.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
That's awesome. And the concierge was, I think you called me when that was going in, because I had my sign out on that lot or something next door, and then you said, watch this YouTube video. Was that you that said?
Oh, that's right.
Watch this YouTube video. We're going to renovate this entire apartment in X number of days. And I thought to myself, this guy doesn't know what he's talking about. I know he did a lot of work for My Home Source or whoever before, but I don't know if he's going to get this done in that time. And you guys went to town on that.
Well, we did one up in Brooklyn Center called Lake Point, and we were trying to break the world record. Or my brother was, and they renovated an apartment from start to finish in an hour and 48 minutes.
Wow. No, were these apartments,
my
and I'm not
God.
familiar with that area.
That
though.
should make TV. That should be like, that's like HGTV, right?
It's had 500,000 views.
Holy
It's on
moly.
YouTube right now. It's called World Record Renovation. So you can
Record,
actually
okay.
pull it right up, and anybody can look on it. It's World Record Renovation. So we thought, well, maybe we can do better. Because after you do it one time, you kind of learn what you did right and what you did wrong and all that, and how we can set it up. Well, we set it up kind of perfectly. We had the cabinets already assembled. We had, everything figured out.
Yeah.
The last one we just did, it was about 3 weeks ago. We did a complete renovation in 48 minutes.
No way.
From start
Wow.
to finish.
And it's an apartment unit,
Yes,
basically.
and it'll be on YouTube.
I didn't even know who these workers are that work that fast, because I want to hire them, or do they have friends?
This is new paint, new electric, new tub, new vanity, new bathroom floor, new kitchen, new floors throughout.
Oh my gosh.
Now that's record, because that's the one thing you hear all the time. Like, and no discredit to any of my builder friends or contractors, but that's what you hear all the time: is it takes them forever and they never get it done, or they start something, they don't finish it. man, we need to know your people. That
Yeah.
Well, we did have some things set up for it. I will
Yeah.
say that, but we had 52 people working on it.
Now
and
this-
so the biggest concern we had was somebody getting hurt. There was so much going on, and saws going and all that. So we had a lot of preparation that went into it to make sure nobody got hurt.
So the complex you're talking about, though, it's called the concierge, the one the 700 units.
698. Yes.
698
Yeah.
apartment units.
Okay, let's
Yep.
not overstate it. So, so those were apartments, you said?
Those are all one-bedroom apartments. There's
Okay.
a couple two-bedrooms in there.
So you just kind of had to coordinate with the building owner contracted you, and then the people are still living in them, right? Or was it a new?
Well, it's my
building that
brother's
went up?
project.
Yeah,
Okay.
that was his
Yeah.
brother. That was
Yeah.
Jim Soderberg's project.
Okay.
Yeah,
Got it.
He has Soderberg Apartments. So Soderberg Apartments.
Okay.
Is the name of the company.
Sure. Wow, that's amazing.
It's cool. So lots of experience remodeling kitchens, and people can get in touch with you to get NGY, or if you're a renovator or a builder, or you have multifamily. How are you marketing? I mean, is this?
Well, I get some people will come right directly to me, and I'll just hook them up with the people around the Twin Cities that are doing
Yeah.
this and have the product in hand. So that's really the best way to kind of do that. And it really depends on what you're trying to do. If you have a brand new home, maybe a certain person will do it. If you have a multi-complex, another person will do it. If you have a renovation, it might be another person that'll do it. It just depends on what your project is as to which contractor I would send you with.
Okay, got it. So, and Tom, you play tennis a lot? On a personal note,
playing tennis.
He plays tennis all the time over in Eden Prairie at the
okay.
Lifetime flagship, is what they call it, facility.
Something about
Where everybody
having,
plays tennis.
something
That's
about having to sprint in life. I'll tell you that.
And
It keeps you young.
what was the deal? Tell me about you were down in Florida. I want to hear the story. We talked about it a little bit before the show, but I want to hear that so that people listening might be able to hear that about.
Yeah, I was down in Florida last week, and we're down in Delray. I have a lot of family that's down in Delray. And we drive up A1A, and A1A is the famous road that goes right along the ocean. And there's a
A1A. It's in the song, Detroit Avenue or whatever.
A1A.
But anyway, go for it.
so we go up A1A, and if you go up A1A, you can see on the side of the road there's Mar-a-Lago, which is Trump's real famous. They call it the Southern White
Right,
House
from
now.
Marla, yeah.
And so anyway, we went up and we saw from A1A, but we thought it'd be more interesting to rent a boat. And so I was with my brother Jim, and we rented a boat, and just a 26-foot boat, and you go on the Intracoastal, which is basically like a river that just runs parallel to the ocean. And we took it up to Mar-a-Lago, which was about an hour-long, cruise on the Intracoastal. And before we went out, the fellow that rented us the boat, which is a rental shop, he said, if you aim your boat directly at Mar-a-Lago, it will be considered an act of aggression. So we're tooling along in our little boat.
Oh my God.
Wow.
So we're tooling along in our little boat, and we come up, and there it is. There's a Coast Guard boat, and he has his 50-millimeter machine gun.
And I'm sorry,
right on the front.
this was just recently,
Wow.
right?
This was last week.
Why.
Yeah.
Okay,
This was
last week. Got it. Okay.
Yeah, and I think he was there at the time.
Okay.
Oh,
We
yeah.
couldn't get close, and we're nothing special. I mean, you know what?
Yeah.
100 different people were going up and down and driving by Mar-a-Lago on the A1A and going up and down the Intracoastal and all of that. But you just kept tooling along at about the same pace. And my other brother, Jerry, was on the boat. He said something interesting, and that is when you're going along and the Coast Guard is there, you can be sure that they have the technology that they're listening to every word we're saying. Whichever word we're saying
Wow.
is they can hear every word we're saying. So it's kind of pretty boring, actually.
That's kind of crazy.
That is crazy to think about. And to think that if you turn your boat towards, that's.
Nobody did it, but I can assure you that they would say to you quite clearly, turn your boat the other direction. And
Like
was
they would
just-
be
Yeah.
shout. Yeah, they'd have a
I'm
megaphone.
sure, yeah,
or
they
whatever.
probably,
Oh,
yeah. Or
I don't
if
think they would just start shooting at you right away.
No. But yeah,
I was just
but,
going to
you know,
say that.
He's in favor of the Second Amendment. Maybe they would have.
Well, I was just going to say, and how many of those boats along that line were probably, incognito Coast Guard boats or set there by Trump or whoever.
yeah,
it could be.
In the act that something would happen. It's not just the one.
That is-
it's
and
not the Coast Guard
frogmen
people. There's-
in the water, and
Oh yeah, there's people all around and whatever.
Yes.
So maybe you
Oh,
thought
maybe,
they
yeah.
look like everyday people, but really,
It's like when you go to
they got bulletproof
any,
vests underneath their.
I think if you go to any major concert, if you go to any professional football game or anything like that, there's dozens of undercover police throughout the facility. That I've heard.
Well, one would think, but I'll have to tell you, and this was, I know, a few weeks ago, I was at the Vikings game where
Yeah.
those protesters got in. It's like,
Oh, when they were coming down the
for
rafters?
real? Okay,
Yeah.
I have my little clear purse, and you're asking me about my, my freaking lip gloss and and my sparkle eyeglasses case, and here these people are smuggling in.
I can see where you get Sparkles as a nickname. I see all your sparkles
really?
and everything.
You figured it out pretty quick. But how are these people getting all this equipment in? They had the big banner and they had their professional climbers,
Yeah.
so they had they were just hanging out, cruising around. How the heck did they get all the way up there?
Creative. They found a way and they did it. I mean, I
Your
got to give them credit
question,
for that.
What was in my eyeglass case? I don't.
Those guys don't know how to get a fifth in
Oh,
there.
so you're going in, you're saying how tight is the security? If they're checking you
my
like
little
crazy.
clear purse, right? I don't know. My sparkles were.
And then there's people
going off
climbing
the
from the
metal
rafters.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's
that
what I'm
makes you
saying.
question what the
My
heck is
sparkles
going on.
are going off on the metal detector. I'm like, well, I don't care. I'll get frisked. I kind of enjoyed it, but just kidding. But I mean, these other people. So you wonder. One would think there's a lot of security in there, but then. So
There's
I don't know.
always a
I know
way
that was
around
a
it.
whole nother conversation. They got it in.
There's even, no matter how tight your security is anywhere, there's always a way around it. And same thing with your online security. There's always a way to get into that too. That hacking obviously has been evident and talked about a lot lately, and that's.
Right.
I'm sure that there's a way for a hacker to get into probably anything, or someone can, no matter what. You know what I mean? It's
Well,
like
and
how
that's-
many hoops you have to
Yep,
jump
you're
through.
secure. Yeah, we have everything. Our office is all secure emails and so forth. Obviously, we have to be when people are sending in income documents,
Financial
loan
documents and stuff.
so
Yeah.
forth. So.
The days of just printing off tax returns and leaving them out on the table. No, I was kidding. No one does that. We don't do that.
dropping them off.
But anyway, we'll be back with more. I want to get back talking with Tom and also Stephanie and get their opinion on some of these predictions for 2017. See if a lot of them coincide with what Elliot Eisenberg said, but some of them are different. And we'll get into some predictions for 2017. And then hopefully have some other fun stories. Thanks for listening, folks. Stay tuned. Jason Stockwell with Remax Results.
And Stephanie Havel with Wells Fargo Home Mortgage.
Don't see the world go